coming at you live with today's video. Hair not done, makeup not done, because I just couldn't wait to get this one out, which is hilarious when you understand the topic we're going to be talking about today. It is the 6th out of our 7 fear dragons, and sorry about that. And the irony of it too is that I've made you wait a very long time for this one. It is my #1 fear dragon. Are you ready? The Impatience Dragon. So I have so much to say about this dragon, and it is so much more than meets the eye. Have you ever suffered from FOMO, the fear of missing out? If so, it is the Impatience Dragon that is at play. At its core, the Impatience Dragon is a lack of trust in divine timing. So FOMO means like, there's somewhere that I'm supposed to be that I'm not, right? There's somewhere that's better than where I am. And it's this fear that we're in the wrong place at the wrong time. So the Impatience Dragon has so much to do with our relationship to time. So there's deep spiritual work in this. One is how, I just want to go over a little bit of the ways that this shows up in my life and maybe showing up in yours. So one is that those of us with the Impatience Dragon tend to underestimate the amount of time it takes to do anything. So we tend to always be in a rush, right? Like I'll have a half an hour before I need to leave my house and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to get this done, and this done before I have to leave. The next thing you know, I'm racing out the door because I totally needed way more time than that. I'm careless. I'm not paying attention. This is one of the things that drives my husband like so crazy about me. And I'm like spilling shit everywhere. And then I get really impatient about the red stoplights that are keeping me from being at my date on time when in fact, I just totally underestimated the amount of time it should have taken me to get something done. So I don't know if you can relate to that. Another way that this shows up is that we will give up on things because they aren't happening fast enough. So for example, I am in the business of soul purpose work and helping people birth their dream businesses into the world. Well, can you imagine how that plays this fear dragon? Just because the fear dragons are designed to take us out of the game, right? They're part of our hero's journey. We're here as spiritual beings having a human experience, here to remember who we really are and what we came here to do. And the fear dragons are, what fun is any hero's journey without some dragons to slay, right? So they're here to beckon us out of the game and back in the stands. They're designed to keep us small and safe, and in so doing, completely out of the work we're really put here to do. So our goal is to recognize them, right? So can you imagine though, you're birthing your dream business into the world and just nobody's getting it yet, right? Like you're putting content out there, nobody's picking up what you're laying down. If you were not to be aware of this dragon, you would say, oh, this isn't happening fast enough. This must not be in divine flow. This must not be meant to be. I'll quit. Fear dragon succeeded, and you, as the spiritual being on your hero's journey, lost. Well, you lost the battle, not the war. So awareness of it is huge. Another way that this shows up in your life is the false belief that there's never enough time, so we can't relax, right? It's like we can't relax because we're afraid that we're wasting time, which often results in workaholics, rageaholics, overachievers, anger issues. Because think about it, like impatience is major resistance to what actually is. It's a huge future orientation. It's us living in the future instead of present. And so when we are in so much resistance to what is, then we get angry. It's like, this isn't how it's supposed to be, right? And it can also really result in overwhelm, right? Because there's this idea that there's not enough time to get everything done that we need to get done. And so we feel really scattered and spread thin. And then finally, another way that this manifests in my life is hanger, right? Low blood sugar issues. I get hangry and I am like ravenous for food. And I literally go back into my reptilian brain. I'm in survival mode, and I am not a nice person when I am in that place. And so the impatience dragon and those who get blood sugar issues and hunger, there's a very strong correlation. So here are your weekly inner shaman practices. I'm giving you several this week because I have many tools for dealing with this fear dragon. And pick your favorite, or maybe try different ones at different times. But here's what you do. The first thing is to give yourself more time. So meaning, if you think that there is like 8 things you can get done before you leave for your dinner, maybe start them an hour earlier than you normally would. Or maybe just automatically slash that into 4 things instead of 8. So just give yourself the gift of more time. Then you won't find yourself in a rush, and you won't find yourself nearly as impatient and sucked right out of the present moment. Number 2 is continue to affirm perfect divine timing. Now, I do this all the time, and it actually bends time. So when I am feeling overwhelmed and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get all of this done, I just stop. I affirm perfect divine timing. I hand it over to spirit, and inevitably I get everything done that I need to get done in the time I need to get it done. Or like something will shift where all of a sudden a deliverable that I thought was super urgent becomes less urgent, or someone gives me the gift of, hey, we don't need that for another couple days, or all of a sudden I'll get the insight to just ask for a little more time, and I'll get that. And so it works in miraculous ways. And because time is just a construct, it's bendable, it's programmable. You can influence it. So coming back to present and affirming perfect divine timing will indeed shift the way time works in your life. The next thing is this is a fun one, is to waste time as a spiritual practice. So in those moments where you are like, I can't possibly just sit here and watch Netflix, or I just can't, I'm not allowed to go play, like reframe, right? Change the frame of that and say, oh no, this is my spiritual practice. Because really, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. There is nowhere to go and nothing to do other than to create for the sake of creating and wake up to who you really are. So with that, you are free to do whatever you want to do. So do it as a spiritual practice in the name of your I am presence and your higher self. And when we get sucked into the drama of urgency, that's really a human construct. And it's just us getting lost in the realm of the lie of separation from who we are as source, and really sucking us into the drama of the illusion of the earth plane, the material sort of like matter realm instead of like the 3D instead of the 5D. So wasting time is a spiritual practice. It helps you remember who you really are. And then as far as addressing FOMO, the best way to counteract FOMO is appreciation. So appreciation for where you are right here, right now. And the mantra, I am right where I need to be, perfectly positioned for my next inspired action. And just remember to, if you do have hunger issues, this one is a funny little solution, but it works. Eat fat and protein, not glucose, okay? It will keep your blood sugar balanced. You won't be so hangry. You won't be in such survival mode and so like resistant to the present moment and right where you are at. And it burns as fuel better to power your whole day so that you don't feel short on time. And then the last one is don't give up. So for those of you who are up to big things in the world and you feel like they're not happening fast enough, or there's some sort of timing that you're not achieving or whatever, like don't give up. Remember that you can relax, and that's just a fear dragon trying to take you out of the game of your extraordinary greatness. And there's room for them, right? They're really just trying to keep you safe. It's okay, but you can just look it dead in the eye and say, not today, fear drago. Here's your passy, here's your blankie, hop in the back seat. I'm driving today, and we are sticking with what's in our hearts. knowing that we can totally trust and surrender to perfect divine timing, and that which we've been inspired with is exactly that which we are meant to have, and they have been given the means with which to create, and Spirit is providing for us, which allows us to be totally unattached to the outcome and create for the sake of creating, nothing more, nothing less. So in the final summation, know this, that really all we're here to do is to awaken to who we really are. So use your sense of urgency, that annoying, frustration, ragey feeling of impatience as a wake-up call reminder. Every time you feel it, that's my wake-up call. Breathe, get present, notice my surroundings, affirm perfect divine timing. I am right where I need to be. Resist the false lie of urgency and just take the next inspired action. And so it is. I will see you next time with the final dragon in our series. And yes, just for the sake of patience, I'm gonna make you wait for it. I'll see you then.